I've literally been dealing with one application for 6 months now due to extreme snail speed in various bureaucratic systems. But let's take it from the top. When I lived in Cardiff 3 years ago, I decided right away, even before I got back to Norway, that when I got back to Norway, I would finish my 2.5 years left of studies on my master's program, and then I would move back to Cardiff again. I am now, as of June 2024, finished with my master's degree and master's thesis. I'm so chuffed about it, but I have been working on getting this moving process going since April, and I have still not moved abroad yet. I am still living outside of Bergen, Norway, where I am currently filming from our new boathouse. Let me lay out the process for you, because the process before you actually get to move abroad is definitely not a mindful walk on the beach. I am a music therapist and I intend to work as such in the UK when I finally, hopefully very soon, get to move over there. But to be lawfully allowed to work as a music therapist in the UK, I need to register with the Health and Care Professions Council, or HCPC for short, and get a license or an authorization to be able to accept job offers and to actually work as a music therapist in the UK without this registration and license is completely illegal, and if I did so, I could possibly end up in jail. Now the catch, because of course there's a catch, is that you actually cannot apply for this registration until you have finished your studies, like after you've graduated, because you have to have your qualifications papers in your hands. Instead of handing in an application in like March or April, so that I would get the registration and license in say June, July, so that I could actually start applying for jobs immediately after I graduate, I had to wait to send in the application until after I graduated. I got my qualifications papers in June, early June. Let me tell you, I did not hand in that application in June. That was the plan. The application for the HCPC registration consists of 2 parts. One part that I have to fill out myself, which is basically, personal information like name, mail and email address. You get the picture. You have to list like a short description of where you studied and what you studied and for how long and the address of that school and whatnot. And then you have to list your experiences, your practice experiences, anywhere you've had placement, anywhere you've worked as a music therapist or other therapist or health worker in general. Because this HCPC registration thing doesn't just apply for music therapists or therapists, it applies to anyone who works within healthcare, as far as I know. So basically part 1 is more like a CV, just going more in depth on your actual experience. I also had to attach different documents to like prove that I am who I say I am, to prove my address, my qualifications and my language skills. Like I had to take a fucking expensive IELTS test to prove that I am sufficient enough in English. And I also had to attach like translations, English translations of all of these documents to prove things, because most of them were in Norwegian. Or I had to apply for like one in Norwegian and one in English. And then all of these proof documents had to be officially certified by, a person worthy of the task. 2 people from my school administration had to suffer through this dreary task. And part 2 of this application has to be written by the university or the school that you actually did your education. Someone from the school administration also had to write out an extremely detailed description of my whole master's program. Every single course I've done, every exam, every grade, the language, the type of tests they do, is it a written exam, is it an oral exam, is it a practical exam, all those things. Eventually this ended up being 45 pages long or something. This took quite some time to attain, because the poor person who had to suffer this dreary task had to translate all of this information from Norwegian to English, because it's only ever been written in Norwegian, so that's great. Anyway, when I finally actually managed to get hold of these precious documents, it was late August already. Yes, it took that long for this application to be written and finished. But the feeling I had when I could send it off finally was immense. I was over the moon and so excited. And then again, the waiting started. And as I'm Norwegian, there's this thing called free trade agreement within the HCPC registration process. So because I'm applying through the FTA, I had to send this application off in the old-fashioned way via post. Yes, can you believe it? And that's not cheap, because these are precious papers. You know, these are actually sensitive information papers. So I had to like send them off with like special security. Cost a fortune. Anyways, the next couple of weeks went by and I heard nothing. It said in the application guide that once the HCPC had received my application, they would just quickly go through it and see that all the papers were there. And then they would send me a confirmation mail to, you know, confirm that they received my application. Also sending me the link to an invoice for the scrutiny fee, which is also very expensive. I never received that mail. I had been notified that this parcel with these precious documents had been delivered and signed for. So where was my confirmation mail? To make a long story short, they had lost my application, but then they kind of had unlost my application because it kind of was never lost. Yes, I know it's confusing, and just this is moving abroad for you. Just be prepared to be utterly confused more than you ever have in your life. Like, you will exceed your capacity of confusion tenfolds of times. And same with frustration. As of the 24th of September, I was told by them, as I called them the second time, that my application had been in queue since the 3rd of September, and since it had been queued up for that long, almost a month, I could expect my application to be done and dealt with by, at the latest, the end of October. It is now the 23rd of October and I still haven't heard a squeak. But I will give them till at least the 1st of November until I start nagging on them, even though they've taken their time. And so even though I started filling out the application way before June and way before I graduated, somehow this took a lot longer than expected. So to sum up the process up to where I am at this point, I've sent off the application to be able to work as a music therapist in the UK. And before I get that, I cannot apply to any jobs. And to have a visa, I need to have a job. And to have a flat, I need to have a visa. So the process is an extreme case of only one step at a time process. First, approval for HCPC registration and getting a license, then getting a job, then getting a visa, then getting a flat, and then all the rest will come when it does. Something you'd expect to be a very easy and straightforward procedure, but apparently not. Which in one way is like brilliant, and it feels kind of calming and relaxing, and it's, you know, it's not chaotic. It's so frustrating because I'm used to having things sorted out way before everything is supposed to actually happen. I'm trying to do that now, but I can't really sort out getting a job before I have this registration and license, can I? I have no clue when I will actually be able to move until I know that I have a job, and until I know when I will actually start in this job. So to answer the question that you have all been asking and keep asking, no, I haven't moved yet. I don't even have a date yet, because I don't even have a license yet. I need to get a license first, and then I need to get a job, and then I will have a date. So when that happens, when I actually manage to get a job offer and I can take a job, I will let you know. Trust me, the whole world will know when I have a date, because I'll be screaming my lungs out in happiness. Until that, I will continue to manifest, to visualize, and to just do my affirmations every single day, because I actually do believe in that shit, and so should you. I have notifications set for job vacancies so that I will not miss out if a music therapy vacancy has been put out there. I am networking with the music therapists that I know over there, so I'm staying in the loop of what's going on, job market wise and, you know, discourse wise. And I'm packing up all my stuff that I don't use so that it's completely ready for when things finally get hectic. And I know that I said in my last video that, you know, it was terrible when things were hectic last time, but right now, because everything is just not happening, I'm missing the hectic, because at least I felt like things were actually happening. I'm also currently working full-time on my businesses, which has been a dream for so long. And then I'm doing some substitute works here and there with music schools and normal schools to just earn some extra money to actually be able to finance this move, because moving abroad is definitely not cheap. I'm so happy that I get to spend more time, you know, running Voyager Spire and getting that completely up and going and creating content for you and doing UGC creation. I couldn't have dreamed of anything better to happen in such a dreary time. But I am truly keeping my hopes up that this move will happen very, very soon. Hopefully even sooner than it seems at the moment. For the past, I don't know, 2 years, I've really had this experience where like everything happens for a reason. I'm truly believing that even though this whole situation feels a bit shitty right now, that everything happens for a reason, and that in some time from now, I will be able to look back at this time and be happy about it one way or another, because I need to think that way, and I truly do believe that. I truly do believe that everything happens for a reason, whether it's me causing it or whether it's the universe causing it or whatever. This time that feels so dreary right now is definitely giving me something that I need for the journey that I'm about to embark on. And I will make this move happen one way or another, and sooner rather than later, but I will, and nothing will make me come off it. I really hope this helped clear some things up for you. I also wanted to let you in to show you that everything is not a dance on roses, or as I said earlier, a mindful walk on the beach, because a dance on roses, I'm pretty sure wouldn't be very comfortable with all those thorns. It's a very good analogy though, actually a really good analogy. Nothing is a dance on roses, or a bed of roses. Is that how you say it in English? A bed of roses. Because in Norway, directly translated to English, we say nothing is a dance on roses. Can you let me know in the comments? Is it bed of roses or dance on roses? Can you say them both? Or is it, you know, one wrong, one not? Anyways, I just wanted to show you that nothing is a mindful walk on the beach when it comes to moving abroad. Moving abroad is not always as exciting and just the pure adventure as some people have you think it is. It can also be extremely frustrating. The whole process can be so dreary and awful at some points. But you have to just believe in yourself and believe that you will make it happen, and you just have to embark on the resilience it's building. Go through it. You will thank yourself when you get to the other end of it. I hope you got something out of this, whether it's the HCPC application process, or whether it's the whole bureaucracy issue, or that everything takes time, so be patient. Or if it's something completely else. Please do let me know what you got from this in the comment and what you found most helpful and most interesting about this. And also do not hesitate to ask me any questions. I am an open book, and I'm more than happy to share anything about all things moving abroad that you might want to know. So you know what's coming next. Like and subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss out on this life-changing advice and insight for later. That's it for this time. Remember to own your journey and grow intentionally. See you in a bit.